Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Super excited to have you guys all here. My name is Rachel Hughes. I'm the marketing director here at Followup CRM. And today we are super excited to be presenting another success story. We do these from time to time because we know there's a big gap between the real world and the tech world. And so it is our pleasure to have our special guest joining us today. So I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. Let's just start with Samuel. Samuel, can you say hi and just a little bit about yourself to the folks who are tuning in?
Yeah, hi, my name is Samuel Brokenshire. I work with Ace Roofing in Bozeman, Montana. I'm originally from Australia, moved here about 12 years ago. And yeah, started at an entry-level position in the company and kind of worked my way through about every position to where I am now.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for being here. He is obviously the field expert on all of this, so we're really excited. We're going to be relying on him a lot to just talk about how these two software solutions actually make a difference in the real world in the industry. So thank you, Samuel. And we're also joined by Jeremy Chasen from Procore. Hi, Jeremy.
Hello, thanks for having me today. So yeah, Jeremy Chasen, Senior Manager, Business Development for Strategic Partnerships here at Procore. I am originally from Boston. I now live up in the Northern California Lake Tahoe area, which is a nice dream come true of mine. Been at Procore for about 5 years, doing a lot of different things across the company. And previous to that was a capital projects delivery consultant at PwC. And then real estate development and asset management. So I've been in the field and now on the tech side, and excited to join Samuel and Rachel on this call.
Yeah, great. Well, again, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you're willing, we'd love to know who's here, who is tuning in. So if you don't mind just opening up the chat and dropping in your name and maybe your company and where geographically you're tuning in from. So we've got Samuel in Montana. We've got Jeremy in Lake Tahoe area. I'm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So we are kind of spread all across the country, which is super, super fun. But yeah, we'd love to hear where everyone is from. So we have Chris. Hi, Chris, from Robinson Electric in Cleveland. Excellent, excellent. We've got some friends, some follow-up team members down in Nashville today at Converge. So I know a couple of people were planning to tune in actually from the conference. So hope you guys are making it. Hi, Trent. Thank you for joining. Thank you. And Noah, probably a buddy of yours, Sam. Very good, very good. Well, hey, thank you guys so much. We're going to jump in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're just going to get started here. So here we go. And as always, please do reach out with any questions at all. If you have questions for me that are follow-up specific, if you have questions that are Procore specific, Jeremy will take those. And then, of course, our VIP Samuel, if you have questions about the field and how ACE is doing what it's doing and all of those good things, please do drop those in the chat or the Q&A. We'd be happy to get to as many of those as possible. So I know that today we have a mixture of attendees, people who are using Followup CRM, and then some people who are using Procore, some who are using both, using the integration just like ACE, but some who are using one or the other. And so for that reason, I thought it would be helpful for myself and for Jeremy just to kind of give a very broad overview of what Followup CRM is, what it does, and then, of course, what Procore is and what it does before we jump into sort of the field or interview portion of our time together. So very, very, very quickly, Followup CRM is a cloud-based customer relationship management solution. This is software built by contractors for contractors. So we solve a lot of those CRM and bid tracking problems that growing companies run into as they get bigger and bigger and bigger. So Some of those problems are they're not tracking anything in their sales cycle. They're just sort of running their projects back of the napkin style. And so we've created a project page where every opportunity or project is has its own page, and everything can live there for everybody to see and interact with. Another problem we solve is that owners have no visibility into the pipeline. So had a great call with an owner recently who said, you know, the dashboard and the reports is what helps me sleep at night, because there are seasons, as most of you specialty contractors know. I was just talking to Samuel about this, being up north, where you know, you're really relying on what's in the pipeline, what's in the hopper, knowing that I have X amount of dollars that I can rely on to get through, you know, a slow season or whatever. So we help owners have the visibility to actually see what they can rely on, what is in their pipeline. Um, Another problem we solve is big jobs just keep getting lost. So when your follow-ups are not organized or scheduled, it's very, very easy to let things go by the wayside, and then you're losing these big jobs that really could be won if we just stayed on top of them. Communication chaos. So let's imagine these companies. I know we all have experiences like this where there's a lot of hidden knowledge, a lot of gaps, a lot of people running around running their own show, and when someone stays or leaves a job at a company, all of that knowledge and all of those clients can go with them. That's a big problem. And so we help solve that with our project comments section of each project. So all the details, all of the changes that are made, all of the forward progress that's being made on a deal is recorded automatically, whether someone puts it in or not. So that's big. And then finally, no accountability within the sales team. So, you know, a lot of times sales teams can be hard to manage. And so we have an activities page, which is just a big to-do list for that team. So that's kind of what we do. Is everybody seeing this screen? Just want to make sure. Okay, great, great. Um, so the bottom line, on average, our clients see an 18% increase in closing ratio and about 10 hours of admin time saved per week. So if you're a math person, there it is for you. It's a worthwhile investment, especially for companies who are outgrowing spreadsheets. That is our biggest target audience, honestly. People in our sales cycle have asked, who are your biggest competitors? And we just say spreadsheets and indecision. That really is it. You know, there are other solutions out there. Followup CRM is the one most tailored to the specialty contractor industry. But what we see is people just continuing to rely on their spreadsheets until they can't anymore. And so that's what we're here for. So that's pretty much it for me. I'm going to kick it over to you, Jeremy, if you can tell us a little bit about Procore.
Yeah, thanks, Rachel. So I'm going to give kind of an overview of Procore because Procore does a lot of different things for different stakeholders. So, you know, what is our platform? And our mission statement is really connecting everyone in construction on a global platform, which I made a bit smaller for this slide here. But how we do that is with our platform, and our platform is a really important component. And I'll talk through this diagram a little bit to give everybody a little bit of an understanding of what our platform offers, in case you don't know everything about Procore and have seen maybe a small piece here or there, or are new to it in general. So again, it's about connecting everyone and everything, really, where we really help collaboration, no matter who it is that you're working with, whether it's internal stakeholders, external stakeholders. We have an unlimited user model that really promotes a single source of truth for what's going on. Of course, there are appropriate permissions along with that user model, so you can make sure to permission appropriately. But that's a big point of our platform, is we want to enable you to connect with all your stakeholders necessary so you can get the information into the platform and share it across teams. Everybody's got got a single source of information they can go look at for as near real time as possible. We also offer solutions that connect across the entire project lifecycle, from pre-construction to closeout, and everything in between. The platform really allows you to connect field and office, like that unlimited user model that I was speaking about before, and strong desktop and mobile capabilities. Everything that we know needs to be out in the field, being used by someone in the field, we develop with a mobile first point of view and user interface and user experience, because we know that's really paramount importance to those of you that are out in the field every day trying to get that information back to the office. So we've also seen firsthand that Procore really can help customers scale and grow their business, and you'll hear a bit about this later in our discussion with Samuel. And how do we do this? Really, all of these things that I just explained, we do it by focusing on the four major pillars here. So pre-construction solutions, which help our customers simplify planning and allow you to take what you're pursuing and get it into your project pipeline and prepare the information. And again, we'll hear a little bit more from Samuel, so I won't go too deep into that pre-construction area. Our pre-construction solutions connect to our project execution solutions, which help you get the job done, reduce the risk, increasing profits during course of construction. We've got workforce management solutions that help you get the most out of the people without burning them out, and also being able to track where they are, what they're doing, who's available, all of those necessary components to manage your workforce. We've got financial management, which helps you gain the right insights from the field, the job site, from a financial perspective, whether that be from progress or invoicing or change management. And lastly, we allow you to understand all that data that we're collecting with a construction intelligence product that is got enhanced reporting, but also AI and ML driven capabilities to surface the right insights to you at the right time. And then I'd be remiss to say, if we don't build it, you could always integrate with our partner ecosystem. And that's a really key aspect of Procore's platform and the way that we are working with the market to make sure you've got that choice of what solution you want to use and are able to integrate that information. And that brings us right back to this webinar and what we're talking about here today with the connection between Followup CRM and Procore.
Perfect.
Rachel, if you could go to the next slide, please.
Yep.
Thank you. This is a super busy slide. I'm just going to hit on real quick. The point of this slide is just to show everybody Procore is building specifically for specialty contractors, as well as general contractors and owner, developer, public agencies. A lot of people know Procore as a general contractor solution because that's where we were born and bred 20 plus years ago. We have done a significant amount for specialty contractors specifically. And that's what this diagram, the super busy diagram, is meant to show, is this is all very specialty contractor focused. So we could move on from this one. If you want to know more about this stuff, come talk to us.
That's great.
And this is just a little bit of proof, as Rachel showed. This is from our ROI study we did a couple of years ago. And this is straight from customers telling us what they're getting out of Procore. You can see specialty contractors save on average 13 days per project using Procore. And there's some other great stats here in terms of how many hours per day are being saved, reduction in frequency of non-recoverable change orders, and improvements to labor productivity in the field. So great feedback from the market. And now I'm excited to move from the Procore story here into talking to Samuel, which I'm sure everybody really wants to hear more.
Yeah, that is great. Really quick, before we jump in, I just wanted to touch on the relationship between Followup CRM and Procore. We are two obviously separate entities with strong and developing integration, right? And so this is our data syncing capabilities. These are all of the fields that can go from one to another and back. So honestly, it's really whatever you want to send from Followup into Procore and back again can be done. And what we're really excited about is something that's in development. We're releasing in about 3 weeks, and we'll hear a little bit more about this when we open the interview portion with Samuel here. But these are our top use cases. This is what it's all about. This is what the integration does, what it's for, how it helps you in the real world. Right now, these bottom two are what are live. And this is, a very zoomed out way of explaining it, but you can push a one project from Followup CRM in as a regular project to Procore. So let's say in your sales cycle, you're working on a big opportunity, you win it, you're using the project management portion of Procore. You can push all of that data directly into Procore so that it's ready to be run in terms of project management over in that platform. And vice versa. You can also pull a regular project from Procore into Followup CRM if for some reason you need data to go back and forth. What we're really excited to be announcing is that we are also building and should be released in about 3 weeks, the ability to push a project from Followup CRM to the bid board in Procore. And Samuel and Jeremy can tell us a little bit more about what the bid board means, but that's really that pre-construction hub part of Procore. And then conversely, being able to pull a project from the bid board into Followup CRM. So depending on the way that your company's workflow is set up, you will in about 3 weeks have the opportunity to work that way. So for more questions on that, please throw them in the Q&A or the chat. But let's get to it. Samuel, again, thank you so much for taking time out of your peak season to join us today. Can you just start by giving us a brief history or an overview of Ace Roofing?
Yeah. So Ace Roofing, we started about 20 years ago in a small town outside of Bozeman, Montana. I joined the company about 8 years ago. And at that time, I think we were doing about $1 million a year in annual revenues, give or take. And over the last 7 to 8 years, we have grown the company about 20 times that size. And we sold the company in January to a private equity group. And so that has been the new transition that we're going through right now. We're part of the Omnia Exterior Solutions family.
Very good, very good. That is
Yeah.
really rapid growth. Can I ask, like, what do you feel like was the catapult to go from, where you were to where you are?
Yeah, it was people. It was getting the right people and the right synergy in the team. And I think we ended up with a energetic core group of young, hungry people that were, just wanted more and were willing to put the work in to see that achieved. As well as in the market that we're in Southwest Montana, they have seen explosive growth in the last, particularly the last 5 to 6 years. And so that's played a big factor in it too.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exciting stuff, and congratulations on all the growth there.
Yeah.
So, I'd love to know if you could give the viewers here a little bit of a background of how you're using Procore at Ace.
Yeah. So any job, any commercial job that has to go through estimating starts its life in Procore in the bid board for us. And we've tried a lot of different estimating platforms out there. From Stack, we looked heavily into the Edge. We've done a number of things. And Procore's estimating tool in the bid board, in our opinion, is probably one of the best in the industry. It's very robust, and it's extremely user friendly. And that was the issue that we had faced a lot, is that you can build your assemblies and your different tools on the backside, but then if you're utilizing it in a bid, you had to then exit that, go onto the other side, make the adjustments you wanted to make, and then re-import it. Procore allows all of that interface to be done from the front side. As well as we do a fair bit of general contractor work, and it's the dominant platform in the industry there. So there's a level of commonality that we share there. And so, if that's ultimately where the project's going to end up on the management side, starting it out in Procore was really advantageous to us.
Yeah, that makes a lot
Awesome.
of sense.
Thanks. Love to hear that.
And then we use it on the project management side too.
Okay, so you're using
Yes.
pre-construction and project management
And
there.
project management, yeah.
Good. And then I'll ask how is Ace using Followup CRM right now?
Yeah, so every job in our company starts in Followup. That's where every lead, every piece of information comes in. And from there, it goes into the various processes, whether it's commercial, residential, service, they all have their ancillary functions. But Followup handles the sales side of everything, and everything starts in Followup.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we know you're using both solutions. We know you're
Yep.
growing a lot. Could you tell us a little bit about really when you brought on these solutions, what that looked like, what the problems you were looking to solve were, like what was the reason for bringing on the solutions and how that all went?
Yeah. So, as we grew, there were really just a couple of events that were very key for us. And, when I started with the company, I mean, you would go market the job, you would sell the job, you would estimate the job, you would order the material, you would organize the crews, you would produce the job, you'd build the job, and you'd do everything in that process. And one of the big things that we did around the time we hit, about 4 million in annual revenues or so, we split that out. And so we, had dedicated operations and project management, and we had dedicated sales and estimating. And so we had a part of the team that was focused on just filling up the hopper. It's not really their concern how the work's going to get done. It's their concern to get as much work in as they can. Then you have the production side, and their job is to get through that work as quickly and responsibly and effectively and safely as possible. Um, and so that was really helpful because all of a sudden you were able to get some people in each position that were very specialized because people that are good at sales and good at project management and good at financial management are very difficult to find. But finding people that are quite good at one thing is a lot easier. And then we went through that and we went to the second iteration was we broke out sales from estimating, realizing that, having people that are good at managing relationships with clients are not always the people that you need really getting granular in these estimates. So now we have 3 dedicated full-time estimators that handle all of that. The salespeople, they understand the job, they understand the scope, but they're not getting into the nitty-gritty of how many screws are needed or things like that. And so with those different delineations, we realized at the time we were all operating off, a system that really started in residential roofing. And it was great, but it wasn't able to do all these things. We had all these workarounds and spreadsheets and different things going on. And we realized, hey, I think that it might be time to do this with not just with our people, but with our tech stack and our software. And so, we went to more of a tech stack model instead of having one platform that did everything. You know, Followup was the product that we ended up choosing for the sales side of it, Procore for the project management, for the estimating side. And then we use products like Company Cam and Hover and things that integrate well with all of those different platforms.
Can I just interject? This is kind of
Yeah.
a random question there, but when you made that change, uh, did you have like an IT manager that sort of guided that, or did you have a tech consultant come in and say, "Hey, let's take a look at the tech stack option," or like how did ACE sort of come to the awareness that we really should go this route, and here's all the options out in the marketplace, because that is a really big jump to make.
Yeah, looking back, we probably should have done that. What ended up happening is that Sam and Jody worked a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
And we utilized the training and the tools within the different platforms. But it was, we're still pretty grassroots at the time.
Okay.
And we just, we spent a year looking at the different shows, meeting with different products. We sat through so many different webinars and trainings, and then kind
Okay.
of landed on the stack
Yeah.
that we wanted, and
Yeah.
then we implemented ourselves.
Okay. Okay. No, that's great to hear, because I know that there are a lot of companies that are going through that transition, and it can be really, really hard to devote someone's brain capacity to
Yeah.
shopping for all these solutions, So
And we're going through it again at Omnia. We're implementing a new ERP and CRM platform company wide, and they have outside consultants that are helping with that. And it's just night and day.
okay, yeah.
So I would
No, that's
totally
great.
recommend if you can afford it to work with someone to help you through it.
Yeah. Thank you. Can I ask, how are you using these two platforms together? How's the integration treating you? And maybe you can speak a little bit to the way that the bid board enhancement that will be rolling out soon is going to be helping you guys.
Yeah. Like any job going from sales to production, it's all in the handoff. That's when everything gets made or broken.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's the same with software. And my take on it is that if it's doing a good job, then you don't really notice that it's there.
Right.
And so that's the way I would describe it. We get a job that's awarded, you hit the Procore button, it gets set up in Procore, then it just kind of rolls from there. Um, what's exciting about the bid board function is right now when we get a job that comes in through follow-up and then we decide to estimate it in Procore, we have to manually transpose all of that information. And so that's going to be a really big value add. But the integration works pretty well. Anytime you can minimize double entry of data, or that, and that's the downfall of a tech stack, right? Is that things are not always integrated, and you do need integrations, and things need to speak to each other, and you need to minimize the constant need to double enter information. But the integration works pretty well for all the key information.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, really glad to hear that the integration is working well for you, and that as you figured out places where it could be improved, you came and spoke to the right people and started getting it moving forward. And truthfully, this is pretty, I'd say, common right now with Procore and our partners, because we now
Yeah.
have a pre-construction solution set that folks like yourself are really starting to rely on and really make use of. We are shifting a lot of these, trying to help the industry shift some of these integrations from just push a one project into Procore in this example to push a pursuit into Procore in the right part of that life cycle, so your team can then leverage that data, pull it into where your team needs to do the estimating, and sync information back and forth.
Exactly.
Like you said, as you grow as a company, get more specialized resources, you need the right tools for those resources, right?
Yeah, and they're in the right communication integration, which is what this is all about.
Awesome. Love it. I know we have a few more questions here, but Rachel, what do you think about moving on so we can get to a little Q&A if there's any? Just
Yeah,
make
absolutely.
sure people get to ask Samuel if they have any questions for him.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's great. Just real quick, we are constantly building, and this is actually a really good example of that. Followup CRM is at this really kind of fun, exciting stage where we're right on the crux of exploding. We've tripled our size in the last year, but we have really personal relationships with our clients. And so this bid board enhancement came directly from ACE, and so I just wanted to say thank you for that, and just kind of talk a little bit about how our releases work. We really do rely on you all in the field to be our guiding light for what we build. We want to build for you, not just what's cool, which is AI, and I will get to that. But in 2023, we built a proposal generator. We built a calendar sync so that you can sync all of your appointments to Google or Outlook. And we built an Outlook plugin so that you can work directly from your inbox. If you're someone who manages all the ITBs that come in right in your inbox, you never even have to leave your inbox. There's a plugin right there. So those were some of our great features. And then in 2024, we're going to be releasing drag and drop dashboards. That's really for owners to be able to always see exactly what they want to see. A pricing and quoting feature, which is out now, which allows you to send proposals with editable pricing and quoting. And then AI smart reporting. So we're going to be building some features where you can ask a very open-ended question of your CRM, such as what's my hottest project? Who are my top 10 clients? Where should I be focused next? And your CRM will spit out an answer for you. So it's a real new way of interacting with your technology. And so we're excited about that. Those are some of our latest and greatest.
And I can quickly hit on ours as well. We had some great releases last year, and this is especially contractor focused. We had a lot more releases than this, but our Procore Construction Network, which is a free network product where you can claim a profile and basically put the right information out there for GCs to come find you and invite you to bid. The bid board, we did some UI and UX enhancements and some of that stuff. I know, Samuel, you were saying you really loved the enhancements that came last year. And then we also worked on, for those of you using BIM models, model-based takeoff and estimating. And then in 2024, we've got a lot of great things coming. Connectability on drawings is one of the things we've been talking about in the market for a long time that we're excited to come out with this year. That's being able to connect drawings from one account to another. So say you're a GC and a specialty, you're a trade contractor, and you need to connect drawings back and forth between your accounts seamlessly to share the latest and greatest. That's coming this year. AI powered locations, so more AI magic, where basically, as part of the takeoff process, we map areas to locations that you have a location structure inside of Procore, just make that job easier for your teams, reduce time they need to do that. And then several enhancements to our workforce management, bidding, and estimating solutions. So say, come talk to us if you want to learn more about all these different things.
This is where you can find out more about both Followup and Procore, but we would love to open it up for Q&A. If anybody has questions about either what ACE is doing up there to be growing so fast, and or anything about Followup CRM or anything about Procore, please do drop them in the chat or in the Q&A. And if there are no questions, I will just ask real quick, Samuel, just to speak a little bit to just how the acquisition is going with ACE. I think we touched a little bit on this yesterday when we met, but I know that there are a lot of companies out there who have experienced that or might. Can you just shed some light on how that's going?
Yeah, I mean, mergers and acquisitions and private equity and roofing is a very big topic right now, and there's a whole spectrum of experiences. Ours has been a really positive one. The group that we're with and the partner companies that we with really are fantastic. And that the thing I think that is a little different about Omnia compared to other options out there is that they're not really coming in and trying to change who we are. They're not trying to come in and change how we do what we do. They go, hey, obviously we are interested in purchasing you and these other companies because you're good at running your company. We don't want to change that, but we do think there's some value that can be added. And so, they come in with an approach of how do we allow you guys to do the things that you're great at, that you built your business on, that provide good value to customers and generate revenue. And then how do we, maybe take some of the things that you're weaker in and that maybe are less productive things in the back end office, finance, human resources, all of that stuff. And how do we take those off your shoulder and bring that into our corporate support center and really allow you and your team to do what you're best at and provide you that support to be able to do it. It's been a really effective transition.
That's great. It sounds like the story of ACE has just been about growing and then niching, specializing people where they need to go. And this is just a larger example of that.
Yeah, it is. And we've had really good growth year over year for the last 7 years, and I think that trajectory is on track to continue with the additional support of Omnia.
Very good. Great. Well, I don't see any questions coming in. If you do have more questions, please do reach out. I'll also say to everybody joining in, oh, we do have one. So sorry. Here we go. How does integrating Followup and Procore help with onboarding new employees? That is a great question. How does integrating Followup and Procore help with onboarding new employees? Jeremy, do you want to speak to that, or do you want me to tackle that one?
I could speak to it. I'm actually curious what Samuel would say first, and then I'm happy to follow up with anything that I have.
Yeah. When you look at what onboarding is, really it's just training a new employee on the unique systems that your business has that might be different from someone else's. And so every time that you can take a relatively repeatable task and put it into a process and integration, something like that, that takes a brick out of the wheelbarrow of stuff that you have to train someone on. And so really it just shortens that learning curve from a new hire to becoming an effective employee.
Love that. That's spot on what I was going to say. Just helping with standardization and management of where things are and a way to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is awesome. And I also think in terms of employees kind of coming and going, the more standardized and connected your systems are, the less impact you have when there's a lot of shifts in your set of team members. So that's
Exactly.
great. That's a great question. Very good. Well, everyone, thank you so much for your time. Be watching your inbox. I'll be sending out a recap email that has the recording of this webinar in case you want to send it to anybody on your team or anything like that, as well as where you can reach out. Oh, we have another question. Samuel, do you
Yeah,
upload drawings into Followup?
we do not, no. We have with data and drawings and those types of things, we tend to keep them pretty centralized in Google Drive or OneDrive when they don't need to be in Procore.
Yeah, that's great. We have Followup allows you to store documents if you would like to store them with your individual contacts. They can also push into the integration, but a lot of companies do what Samuel's talking about, keeping them into in Google Drive. They said then upload them to Procore once it becomes a job, I assume. Is that correct, Samuel?
But to the degree that it's necessary. So when something moves to Procore, we'll upload all the documents for that project into Procore, so it's all searchable. But yeah, even Procore, it's not the greatest at getting through wording PDFs. Really good for digesting drawings, but when it comes to reading a 600-page specification document, really you need to be in Adobe or something like that. It's a little bit unique that way.
I'm not very good at reading a 600-page document either.
I will say that's enhancements we are working on in Procore because we know we understand the pain that you're talking about and the reason that you're using something else.
Yeah.
100%, but you integrate great with Adobe, so it works. It works really well.
Perfect.
Right? Yeah, great questions. If there's no other questions coming in, I want to just say thank you all so much for your time. Big thank you to Samuel, big thank you to Jeremy, and of course to all of our viewers. If you have any questions about Followup CRM, if you'd like to see a custom demo, please do reach out to our product specialist, Rachel, the other Rachel, there are two of us. Or if you have questions about Procore and want a personalized demo, you can visit procore.com/demo. So I will let us go and just hope everyone has a great day. Thank you so much for joining. You guys take care.
Thanks. See you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.